Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ HELIUM10, từ trường Scale, Logistics và Warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
Today, I'm going to show you things like how to use ChatGPT to help you get started writing your listing, and also some new ways that you can save hours and hours of work by having actually HELIUM10 do your work for you and just delivering you the results. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Sellers have lost thousands of dollars by not knowing that they were hijacked perhaps on their Amazon listing, or maybe somebody changed their main image, or Amazon changed their shipping dimensions so they had to pay extra money every order. HELIUM10 can actually send you a text message or email if any of these things or other critical events happen to your Amazon account. For more information, go to h10.me/alerts. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Serious Sellers Podcast by HELIUM10. I am your host, Bradley Sutton, and this is the show that's a completely BS-free, unscripted, and unrehearsed, organic conversation about serious strategies for serious sellers of any level in the e-commerce world. And today we've got another edition of our Seller Strategy Masterclass, which is a monthly series where I give you guys just, strategy after strategy on how you can use HELIUM10 and other tools in order to, help your Amazon and or Walmart business. And so today we're going to be focusing on a couple of tools. Mainly, a lot of this is going to be powered by AI. And so the first thing we're going to be talking about is Listing Builder. That's why I'm wearing my LB hat today. Let me know if anybody actually knows what team this comes from, but I consider this my Listing Builder hat. We're going to be talking about, how AI can help you, especially when you have writer's block. And then I'm going to be going into a lot of Insights Dashboard, which is just like next level stuff, guys. Like I'm going to be, talking about some things today where, it might be a process that took you or one of your employees maybe, 3-4 hours a week, some of these processes, and now it's going to be like 3 or 4 seconds. Literally, I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to show you a way that you can participate in kind of like helping the roadmap of HELIUM10, because this is just the beginning. There's a lot of stuff that we actually need your input on. So I'm going to be showing you some cool things that are coming, and then how you can actually shape the direction that we're going to take some of these new tools in. So let's go ahead and get started. The very first strategy of today is how to utilize Spanish keywords in your listing when you maybe have more than 10 keywords. Now, this is something that I think all of us know, right? Like, hey, we need to have Spanish keywords in our listing, to be indexed for them, because, there are so many, hundreds of thousands of people, not millions of people, for example, in the United States, who search in Spanish on the Amazon platform. So like, for example, maybe you guys are familiar with, Cerebro, and how you can find different Spanish keywords. Like here, I just looked up a collagen peptides, what I'm looking at here, and there was like 25 Spanish keywords that had the word colágeno in it, that all had like 400 or more search volume. So in the collagen space, there's obviously a lot of products that utilize Spanish keywords, and they have a lot of search volume. So here's how you can know what to do here, because you don't have room to put every single one of these phrases in the search terms in the back end of your listing. By the way, I know a lot of people, or some people, talk about using, maybe image alt text from an actual image. I'm going to check that to see if you are not indexed, if that will actually get you indexed. I'm not talking about A+ content alt image. I'm talking about like in the meta description of your images. Going to definitely be testing that. I think it helps, or I'm pretty sure, it helps on Google, but I want to see if can it take you from a not index to an index state on Amazon. One thing that I've tested extensively and never have, had much success on is doing that in the alt image, alt text of the actual A+ content. I've tried that, not many times. Like I've tried it like 13 or 14 times, where I take a word, be it Spanish or be it another keyword that I am not indexed for, all right, not searchable on Amazon, and put it only in the alt image text for the A+ content, and then check like a few days later, am I indexed? And I can't get it to work. Now, some people might, maybe just stuff it completely, and then maybe, have some success getting some keywords indexed. I wouldn't do that in the first place. Even if it did work, personally, I would not put Spanish keywords or keyword stuff, those alt image parts of A+ content, because it's kind of against Amazon terms of service, first of all, because that's meant to be a section that is for, like, blind people, or people who use screen readers and things like that. And that's just not even, that's just not cool. I mean, there's millions of people searching in Spanish on Amazon. Guess what? There's thousands, tens of thousands of blind people searching on Amazon. And imagine they go to your listing and they're trying to understand what the images are. It's a bunch of Spanish keywords, and they're not even Spanish speakers. So it's just not a cool experience. So for me, I put my keywords in the back end of the listing, the search terms. A lot of it, not all of it, gets indexed. So when you have 20 keywords like this, the question might be, well, how in the world can you get indexed for all of these keywords if you're not indexed already? You can only put a few of these maybe in the search terms. So what I like to do is, once my listing is active, if I want to prioritize this, I'm going to go to Amazon, to my listing, and at the very top right, I'm going to select the Spanish version. All right, you click on the flag that's next to the search bar, all right, and then hit Español, and then it's going to transfer the listing into Spanish, and then scroll down to where the HELIUM10 Chrome extension has a little widget where you can see the BSR, and at the very top, there's these little buttons, all right, and you're going to want to click on Listing Optimizer when this listing is in its Spanish form. And then what happens is you are now going to import that Spanish listing into the old Scribbles tool. So you can see how it put in the title, Orgain, colágeno en polvo hidrolizado, blah, 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 blah. It says here, it pulled in the whole front end of the listing, all right? So then what I do is I'm going to go ahead and put in those 20 or 14 or whatever keywords that I had, been curious about, or that I want to, index for. And I hit apply. And now what Scribbles is going to show me is if the Amazon translation for this has these keywords in it. All right. Now, I said this is about Listing Builder. Obviously, I'm showing you Scribbles, but you can definitely do this in Listing Builder as well. And as you can see here, there's only one keyword in phrase form that the Amazon Spanish translation has. Now, this is something you're going to notice. Amazon is using its own translation. It doesn't mean it's the most optimized form of Spanish that people are actually searching in. Here's a proof of it. This is a listing where it's the top keywords for collagen. It's not showing up in that phrase form. So if you're indexed for it, okay, maybe you decide that, okay, hey, I don't care. If it's in phrase form, all I care is about being indexed. But maybe some of these keywords you want to have in phrase form in your listing, not in the translated form or in the translated version, but just in the back end of your regular version to send more of that rank juice to Amazon. So this will tell you how many of the individual keywords are in there. Like you could see colágeno is in there, polvo para hidrolizado. So like there's these various individual keywords that made up the Spanish phrases are definitely in here, but perhaps the ones that I have the highest search volume or I think is the most relevant, that's what I'm going to choose to put into my listing. All right, so this is just a quick hack on how you can use Scribbles or Listing Builder, import the listing from Spanish, the Spanish Amazon translation, and then see how the listing is optimized. Now, let's just talk about just regular English listings for Amazon USA. Maybe you're not a native English speaker. You're from another country. English is not your first language, and you're struggling with, getting started writing your listing. Or perhaps, maybe you are a native English speaker like myself, and just you have writer's block. We all get it sometimes. You're like, man, I don't know how to get started writing this listing, right? What are some ways that you can use AI to help? Let me go ahead and show you. If you have your list of keywords, your phrases and your words, I'm talking about Listing Builder now. Maybe you've got 10, 15, 20 different phrases, and then you've got an additional 100 or so individual words you want to be indexed for. Well, you go into Listing Builder, and then what you do, this is very important. You got to enter in the product characteristics. This is important because I know there's some tools out there, or if you're just using ChatGPT by itself, and the tool only has you like import keywords. Search terms are important to get in there, but you need to have product characteristics too. So like here, I just threw together something for this listing, this coffin shelf listing. I was like, hey, this is a coffin shaped shelf for hanging on the wall or tabletop. It's made of wood. It's good for smaller spooky trinkets. It's a black paint. And then I put the brand name. Now, of course, I should probably have, put more here in product characteristics, things that come from maybe the review insights of my competitors. You'd want to fill this up as much as you can. I'm going to put here, I want to show the brand name at the beginning of the title. What my product name is just going to put coffin shelf. And then you can choose like the tone. So, do you want it to be formal, casual, friendly, humorous, persuasive, educational, empathetic, inspirational? Not all of us can just think and, change our mode to these different styles, but you can do that with AI. So I'm just going to choose humorous because it's for a coffin shelf. And then target audience, maybe it's just for men or maybe it's for women. It's from certain ages. I'm going to go ahead and put that. And then let's say under this words and special characters to avoid, let's say I had some keywords that for sure I thought maybe ChatGPT is going to try and throw in a drug-related word that it doesn't realize that is forbidden against, by Amazon, like CBD or something. Or maybe I think it's going to put in a cuss word because it's very common, or maybe a brand name or something like that. I can throw those into words and special characters to avoid. And now what's the most important part of your listing? Well, it's going to be the title. So that's what I suggest working on first, all right? And then put in the keywords that you definitely want to include in the title, all right? Your top 2 or 3 keywords. The way you do that is you hit this button here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose coffin shelf, Gothic decor, and Gothic decor for bedroom. Remember, that's like one of the Maldives honeymoon or Bali blast kind of strategies, is making sure that you try and have nested words together. Like, so if 2 of your main keywords are Gothic decor and then Gothic decor for bedroom, perfect example of a couple keywords that you'd want to get into your listing or into your listing title so that you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, so once you go ahead and choose which keywords you want in the title, just hit this one button, write it for me. And then what's going to happen is ChatGPT is going to come up with a suggestion on what it can be. Now, look at this. I had put spooky, right? And it says here, Manny's Mysterious Oddities Coffin Shelf, the perfect Gothic decor for bedroom. Spook up your space. That's even using, what is it called? Alliteration or something like that? With this black wooden coffin shelf. Now remember, these weren't even keywords I put in. I put made of wood, and it knew to change it to wood. And I put that it was a black color, and it just put black there. So if I'm good with this, all I have to do is hit use suggestion, and then boom, goes the dynamite. It used up some of my keywords. So right there, I might not have been, whether I'm a native English speaker or not, that is arguably a lot better than what I could have come up with in 5 seconds, which is how long it took ChatGPT to do that. And then basically you just keep going on, like say, hey, all right, I'm good with that title. Go ahead and write the bullet points and try and use, these words. And then as you go along, you choose if you want to accept what ChatGPT has given or you wanted to rewrite it, and then keep writing out your listing and including your description at the very end. If you still have phrases and keywords left over, we'll just go in there and edit it out and use up all the keywords. So I personally don't use ChatGPT in order to just make a complete listing and just like say, hey, go ahead, ChatGPT, take the wheel. What I use it for is to, get ideas on changing a title, or if I am starting from scratch, just to get me on the right track, making some kind of theme that I can follow. Because, everybody has writer's block, sometimes, and right off the bat, it's going to give you, kind of like a direction you can go with on your listing that you probably wouldn't have been able to come up on your own. So I highly recommend using this. This is for those of you who have the diamond plan on HELIUM10. All right, let's now switch to something new-ish. It's been around for a few months, and it's called Insights Dashboard, and some of the different ways that you can utilize this to help you with your analytics and help you, basically grow your Amazon business. So the first strategy I want to talk about is how to compare key metrics versus previous time periods. So this is exactly what you see just when you log into HELIUM10 now. And for example, I have the revenue metric being shown right here. Now, at the very top of the screen, I'm showing like some dates from last month in June. All right. Maybe I want to actually just look at the whole entire last month of June. So June 1 to June 30th. Now, if I have this comparison button toggled, what this is going to show me is each day it's going to kind of show me this time period versus the previous time period. So, regardless of what time period I'm looking at, it's going to compare it to the previous time period. So here I'm looking on June 16th. Overall, my gross revenue was $322, but on that same day last month in May, 30 days before, it was $400. All right. My profit margin went from 13% to 8%. All right. These are things that I might want to, look at, like, what in the world is going on? Why is my profitability down? Why is my sales down? Well, this will help you look at trends. All right. So that's the number one thing, is comparing your metrics to previous time periods. The next thing is how to measure the results of your listing, PPC, and more tests. All right. So I could be on any of these pages right here, but the cool thing is this add note button. All right. So let me explain why you would even use this. All right.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Scout cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ HELIUM10, từ trường Scout, Logistics và Warehouse. Xem hình thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.
Maybe you're using Manage Your Experiments inside of Seller Central. Well, it's going to, take detailed notes of what's happening, what experiment you're doing. But what are some experiments you probably run on your own? What if you're changing a bullet point? What if you're changing an image? What if you lower the price of your product by a couple dollars? What if you maybe add some Spanish keywords to the back end of your listing? What if you increase your PPC budget for a product? What if you increase your PPC target, your target cost per click, right, on a certain keyword or search term? All right. I mean, the list goes on and on. We are always doing things to our listings, hopefully, to try to increase sales or to get better conversion rates, etc. Right? Well, you could make these changes and then just go back and kind of like remember when you did it, or maybe you wrote down some notes somewhere and then, all right, let me try and figure out, when I did this and that. I mean, you should be doing that. I hope you just don't blindly make changes and cross your fingers, hope it works. But what you should be doing is taking detailed notes of when this happens. And so that's what you can do right here on the dashboard. If I do something, I'm going to hit add note, and then I pick what date I make the change, and then I choose, hey, what did I do? And I could make my own, I put a whole bunch of tests right here, but I can make my own, action, like, hey, increase my PPC bid or change this listing image. And then I choose the actual product that I did the change to, and then I can even write more notes here in the description. Now what happens is it's going to show up on that date. All right. So for example, right here, if I hit this, this actually just shows me the alert. So these are alerts that I made, or not that I made, but that happened to my listing. But if I had made some change, like I increased my budget, it would show up here on this date. Let's say it's June 9th. And then what I would want to do is, let's say I'm looking at that specific product and I changed a PPC bid. Well, what I'm going to want to do is, after that exact point in time, I'm going to be looking at my sales, or I'm going to be looking at my refunds. I'm going to be looking at my, my PPC spend, whatever my keyword ranks, whatever the case is. I want to see what kind of effect that had. Now you might think, oh, hey, if I just do that one time, I got one product, that's not that necessary. Who I don't need to do that. But trust me, guys, even if you only have one product, this is important, because maybe you remember 3 weeks from now what you just did, but you can remember a year from now, like, Prime Day is coming up, right? And maybe you did some test. All right. Hey, I'm doing a 2-week pre-Prime Day sale, or a 1-week pre-Prime Day sale. Well, a year from now, you're preparing for Prime Day. Are you going to remember what you did, even if you only have one product last year? You might not. So now all you have to do is look back on the date range of this year's Prime Day. I'm talking about a year from now, and you will see this note that you added. Hey, on this date, I lowered my price. I did a temporary sale. And now you can look back. Well, how did I do? Ooh, my profitability went down and my sales stayed flat. Well, you're going to do that again next year for Prime Day? Probably not. All right. So this is why it's important to go ahead and take these notes inside your insights dashboard so you can track all of the different things that you're doing that you're trying to increase your sales. All right, next strategy here is how to view all of your product's metrics in one place. All right, as you know, HELIUM10 has like a million tools. Seller Central has tons of different data points. Well, how can you see everything at once? Well, here on the bottom of your dashboard in the products table, you can see everything now. Like here's my my Project X Geese Chicken Coop egg rack, right? I can go ahead and see here, hey, here's all of my keyword ranks, all right? I don't have to go into Keyword Tracker to see it. I can even see how many keywords I'm in the top 10. I can see what is my category BSR, my subcategory BSR. Maybe I want to look at, without having to go into Amazon or go into a tool, hey, show me the entire history of the BSR of this product. What's my star rating on it? What's the history of my reviews? You know, how many units do I have in stock? How many days of inventory does that stock represent? What's the price history of this product? How many sales have I had today? How many units sold in this time period that I selected here at the top of the page do I have? What's my refunds been? You know, units and the dollar amount of refunds. How many page views and my page view rate? This is coming from your business reports in Seller Central. All right. What about my sessions and my unit session percentage? What's my conversion rate? All right. What is my gross revenue, my net profit, my profit margin? How much Amazon fees did I pay for this product? What's my ROI? What's my COGS? It pulls in your PPC data for this product. All right. Here, look at this one. I spent $200 last month on PPC. This is how many impressions. It got me 140,000 ad impressions. This is how many clicks I got. This is my rate. This is my ACOS, my ROAS. Do I have the buy box? All of this, guys, you know, I know for those of you listening to this maybe in your car, as you have trouble picturing this would have to take multiple HELIUM10 tools plus Seller Central. It's all in the same table, and I can choose different views as far as what I want to see. All right, so this is kind of like what I highly suggest you guys doing right away if you haven't played with this yet, but just hop right in there. Those of you with a diamond plan, you can have up to 1,000 products that you can track here. I think if you have the platinum plan, you still get like 20 or 50 or something like that. But go in there, start playing around with it. Take a look at your keyword ranks. Take a look at your alerts. You know, you might have had things happen to your listing that you didn't even realize was happening. Take a look at your inventory levels. All of that is right here, and you're not going to have to go into separate tools anymore to see this. You can see it all right in one place. Now, one interesting thing that we kind of like are one of the first ones to do. This is my my double egg rack. Now, I just happen to know that I actually have multiple variations. I've got this double egg rack. I've got the bottom rack and a top rack as well. Maybe I want to know, instead of just seeing the sales of this double rack, what is my whole entire egg rack listing? How is it doing on sales and some of these metrics? Well, if you hit here, the related ASINs, I could say, hey, view related child ASINs in the table. All right. So now what it's going to do is it's going to show me the 3 products that have to do with this ASIN. All right. This main ASIN. It has 2 other variations, and now I can see all of those aforementioned stats that I was talking about together. Or maybe I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have to add up, all of these. Maybe I have a listing that has 10 variations. Like I'm selling in the clothing, category, and I'm like, hey, I want to know for my red or my T-shirt, my red T-shirt, total how many sales that I have across all the sizes. Well, now you can actually, view things at the parent level. All right. And it aggregates all of the data. So those 3 child variations I was talking about, now this unit sold represents all of it put together. So I don't know of any other major tool that does this. This has been something that you guys have been asking for a while. But those of you with variation listings, you can now view all of the metrics for your product. You can't do this in Seller Central. All right. You couldn't even do this in HELIUM10 before. But again, you could view it at 3 different levels. At the very SKU level, like me, I have multiple SKUs per ASIN because I have an FBM and an FBA SKU. I could look at it at the very SKU level. I could look at the ASIN level, so maybe it adds both of those SKUs together. Or I could look at the whole parent level where it shows all of the child items together, my keyword ranks, my sales, my PPC, etc. All right, the next strategy is basically how to have Helium10 do a lot of work for you. And this is going to be kind of like the thing I'm going to be talking about the rest of this episode, because this is the most beneficial, the thing that can just really put money in your pocket because of the time and the data that it gives you. And, there's a reason why this new dashboard is called the Insights Dashboard, and that's because of the insights that it gives you. So if you look on the left-hand side, those of you with the Diamond plan, you're going to start seeing these insights. Like, for example, hey, I got this insight. Your gross revenue for this product is down 300% from the previous week. You might want to look at it. So normally maybe I'm paying somebody to look at my gross revenue or some certain metric, and hey, let me know when it's bad. No, you don't have to pay nobody to do that anymore. You can just program this to let you know when some of these things happen. Here, there are some negative keyword suggestions for my PPC campaigns I did not implement. This is telling me to go ahead and implement it. All right. There are, here it says competitor keywords that I'm not ranking for. Here's another one where it says, hey, your main image size is not a good dimension. Go in and you might want to check it out. Hey, we found $50 worth of refunds that Amazon could owe you. Go ahead and submit that. Hey, transfer inventory to avoid running out. There are so many different insights that it's already, giving you, like some of the alerts that might happen to your product, like your image changes or your listing gets suppressed. Now here's the exciting part, because there are some things that are coming that are just going to be kind of crazy soon, or by the time you're watching this, you might be able to click on competitors on your product table, and that's you guys know me, I don't use this word lightly, but this is what's going to be game changing for you guys, because you're going to be able to add up to 5 competitors per each one of your product. All right, just like you kind of see here in this mock-up. Now let me explain the fire that this is going to bring you. All right, now try and hold, if you're driving, you should pull over, because probably going to blow your minds, and you might get too excited and start speeding and blame a speeding ticket on me or something. Right, so make sure you're sitting down when you hear this. All right, you're going to be able to assign competitors to each of your products, and that's just going to open the floodgates of insights. All right, imagine this, guys. Your competitor raises or lowers their price. You're going to get an insight or an alert about that. Let's say they change one of their images. They change their title. You're going to get this insight dropped in your dashboard. No more having to pay your employees to monitor your competitors every day, for these kind of things. Get this, guys. Let's say your competitor is running like a lightning deal or a coupon, or they just changed their price lower, or they run a special deal of the day. Guess what? You're going to get an insight. You're going to know, hey, your competitor is running a sale, and how do you use this information? Well, some people, they're like, hey, I got to match whatever my competitor's doing. So, this is something, this is not like game changing in the sense that, oh my goodness, you've never monitored these kind of things from your competitors before. No, of course, I hope that you guys are monitoring that. But the game changing part is you're having to do this yourself manually, or maybe you're paying an employee to mindlessly, go in and look at 100 of your ASINs and then 300 competitors total for each of those ASINs, and refreshing them every day. Hey, let me know when they're running a lightning deal. Hey, let me know if they changed their image. You're not going to have to do any of that anymore. We're going to let you know when these things happen. The parts that I really like is the keyword level. Like I hope it's part of your strategy where you're paying one of your employees to go in, once a month or once every other month, and run Cerebro on your listing compared to your competitor's listing to see if they're ranking for any new keywords organically, to see if they're bidding super high for a certain keyword in sponsored ads that you're not even indexed for. Like, imagine that you were going to get a notification that says, hey, your competitor is getting sales from this keyword. They're page 1, position 3. And A, you are not ranking at all for this keyword. B, as a matter of fact, you're not even indexed for this keyword. C, how about adding it to your 3rd bullet point? Would you like ChatGPT to create a new bullet point based on that? That's the kind of stuff that's going to come, guys, to this insights dashboard. So again, if your mind is not blown, you don't understand the gravity of how powerful this is going to be. Now, here's the important part. We need each of you to kind of like let us know what other kind of insights you want to have that you now take action on based on what is happening to you or your competitors. All right. So now you kind of know the direction that this tool is going in. And now that you know you can assign 3, 4, 5 competitors to each of your ASINs, what kind of notifications do you want? Like, is there something you want to monitor on your competitors? Now, a few of the things I didn't mention that's already gonna happen is like BSR level. You're gonna be able to specify a percentage, like, hey, let me know if their BSR changes by this percentage. Let me know if their BSR passes mine. Let me know if my competitor sales goes down by this much percent. Let me know if their review velocity goes up by this amount. Well, we're already going to do like tons of stuff. So maybe your ideas that you have, we might already have in motion, but still don't let that stop you. Still let us know what exactly you want to see from your competitors that you would want to get insights for. And especially I'm talking about strategies that you're already doing now. You know, this stuff is not brand new. Like anybody can see, you know, if a competitor BSR goes up or down, but you got to manually do it right now. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like showing you some new data point that nobody has access to. You know, what I want to do is take the strategies that you're already doing, and how can we automate that for you so we can give you, you know, more time back in your pocket. So the way that you guys can give us kind of insights into what you would want to see in Insights dashboard is scroll to the very top of your dashboard, and at the very top there will be a button that says send feedback. That's specifically for this dashboard. All right, so make sure to click that and let us know. Just say, hey, Bradley said to use this to give feedback on what I would like to see for my competitor insights. Some more things that I didn't show you guys that's coming, that's on your own listing, is you're going to have this new metric where it's called, I think we're calling it the profitability down, where it's like, hey, if my sales goes down by this much percent, or my conversion rate goes down by this percent, or my sessions goes down, give me a notice. Instead of you, again, having every day to go in and look at your business reports to check these data points, we're doing that work for you. So tons and tons of stuff that is coming to this Insights dashboard, and it already is powerful that it can help you with a lot of your day-to-day activities, like as of right now. So if you have not activated this dashboard, make sure to do it. But again, tons and tons more stuff coming, and we're going to be able to build on this platform to bring you other insights, to bring you other metrics. So I really, really, really need a favor from you guys, and that is for you to just dive into here, play around with it, see how it works, and then hopefully your creative juices are kind of turned on, and you'll be able to to give us some feedback on the kind of things that we can help you with, that our AI can go ahead and automate for you and just give you the results. I mean, I'm super excited about this competitor insights, where I don't have to worry about having a VA every day check if my competitor has a coupon on their listing, or if their image changed, or I don't have to worry about if my competitor is getting sales from this keyword that I'm not, unless I'm checking it every day. No, all of this stuff is going to be automated, and I'm just going to have this notification in my Insights dashboard if it happens. So again, guys, please click on that send feedback and let us know. Hope you guys were able to learn a couple of strategies from this. If I talked about things that you guys currently aren't doing, go ahead and watch the video of this, helium10.com/podcast. You can watch the videos on there of each of these episodes, or you can view that usually 1 week after it goes live on our YouTube channel. Just look for Helium10 Serious Sellers Podcast, and you'll be able to find these episodes. So again, I hope you guys enjoy this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.
Anh chị đang bán hàng trên Amazon. Skyrock cung cấp các dịch vụ dành cho các nhà bán hàng trên Amazon với mức giá cực kỳ ưu đãi như đăng ký brand với USPTO, từ HELIUM10, từ trường Scout, logistics và warehouse. Xem thêm thông tin chi tiết dưới phần mô tả nhé.